You're listening to After the Review.
After the review.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed.
Well, we've been following this story pretty closely the last few weeks about the college football season. It's being reported now that the Big Ten and the Pac-12 have canceled their seasons and are going to announce on Tuesday. Well, the ACC and Big 12 are on the fence, but the SEC is trying to push forward with inviting teams. I'm going to break down everything that's going on with this. There's a lot of conflicting reports, a lot of pushback from the players, ADs, presidents. There's no agreement amongst anybody on what's going on. Even the president himself has voiced his concerns over this. But if you could, like this video, share it on social media, subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell to make sure you get these daily update videos. I'd greatly appreciate it. All right, let's break this down. So this morning, it all kind of started with Dan Patrick on his show. He was told by his sources, he has some pretty good inside sources, he's been in the sports biz a long time, and he's usually pretty right on these things, that the Big Ten and Pac-12 have canceled their seasons and will announce it on Tuesday. Like I said, ACC, Big 12 on the fence, and the SEC is trying to push forward with more teams. This kind of sent Twitter into a frenzy going on. Brett McMurphy, pretty good college football Big Ten inside cover, says that the vote was 12-2, and the only two that voted to play this year were Iowa and Nebraska. Now, there's some pushback on these reports. So Michigan, Ohio State, Michigan State all came out against the season. At least their presidents did on this vote. There was kind of word, Sunday afternoon that this was picking up steam, that there was emergency meetings amongst presidents of universities on what's going on. And so some big-time players got behind the voice. Really the biggest, Trevor Lawrence, this man has nothing to gain from voice playing this season. He's going to be the number one pick in the draft. And he took some real leadership here with the We Want to Play hashtag trending on Twitter. Talks about that how the safety protocols are established. They all want to play. They trust each other. And honestly, it's not the worst thing I've ever heard. These players are probably safer on campus getting rigorous testing daily, weekly, whatever. I don't know how often they test, but they test a lot. Following protocols, being with teammates and guys who aren't going to mess around probably because they don't want to jeopardize the season, so they're going to be following strict protocols. At least I have that faith now, and the numbers seem to support that amongst the college teams. But if you send them home, who knows who they're going to be hanging out with back in their small towns or wherever they come from. May not be any social distancing going on. They may be infected. They may be at greater risk. Who knows? And it's just a really hectic scenario right now. We're kind of waiting on bated breath to see if they're actually canceled or not. Pete Thamel here, he's reporting that a Big Ten spokesperson texted him, and they said there was no vote held by their presidents or chancellors. So that's good news. Maybe they were testing the waters and the story got out, and it's been a massive pushback. The We Want to Play hashtag has college athletes from all over the country, big time. Everybody wants to play. The students on campus, but no football. There's no safer place on campus. Coach Harbaugh came out. Justin Fields came out, the Ohio State quarterback. Shane Buechele right here, SMU quarterback. It's just everybody seems to want to play. They talk about how the players need a voice and they mean stuff to the NCAA. Why aren't they listening to them? They say they feel safe on campus. There seems to be a large majority of them. They work so hard and tirelessly to play. Joe Burrow's the number one pick in this year's draft weighed in. He goes, I couldn't imagine. He was a nobody last year, essentially. He wouldn't have had a job if he didn't get his senior year in college football. And then he became the number one overall pick, Heisman Trophy national champion. This is huge for guys. And it's countless hours their entire life to play. And I really think they should play. It seems like they're safest in a semi-bubble, which they kind of have, especially if there's no other students on campus. They're really safe. Now, the president weighed in on this. He retweeted Trevor Lawrence, said the student athletes have been working too hard for their season to be canceled. Everyone's, of course, blowing up on this about the president. Oh, this is all your fault. Blah, blah, blah. It got everybody moved. Everyone's tied into college football. It seems like everyone wants to play it. I say everyone. Those who really care about college football and the players themselves, those who are in college football, really want to play this thing. And I don't blame them. The numbers seem to say they're safe. Michigan's head coach Jim Harbaugh came out and talked about how they've done over 900 tests in the past since, let's see, so Michigan program had 11 positive tests out of the 893 administered, including 3 upon the return to campus. We had 2 positive tests out of the last 417 administered and had 0 positive tests out of the last 353 administered. 0 positive tests among coaches or staff over the entire 8 weeks of testing. These are massive numbers. So this is why he came out and said he wants to play. And then the Ohio State football Twitter account came out and was retweeting all these players on the We Want to Play movement on their team. So it seems like they're going directly against what their president of the universities are thinking. Now, is this a liability issue? Are they worried about people getting sick and something happening to them, long-term effects? Where's the leadership in the NCAA? They are just going around. Mark Emmerick, you're getting paid millions and millions of dollars. You do absolutely nothing. I say this constantly. You're a corrupt organization that talks about amateurism and the integrity of the game, yet you have no leadership for college football, where every other major sports leagues had leaderships and seem to have gotten this thing right. I know we're not into football yet. Baseball's doing pretty good. Only one team seems to not be able to behave themselves, and that's the Cardinals, who keep getting positive tests because they clearly keep going out. The Marlins have gotten over this after the first weekend. There's been no other positive tests from teams. The NBA bubble works. The hockey bubble works. Football's just getting into it. It seems like it's doing okay right now. Of course, there was positive tests with guys coming in, but it seems like there aren't tests popping up now that everyone's kind of in camp and going through protocols and things like that. These guys are professionals. They care too much about their team to let this get away. You can't do a full bubble. The money's not there for all these programs to do all this stuff. But there's enough money there for the protocols that they have put in place, and it seems to be safer. There's no leadership. There's no unified front. We have business people, board members, whatever, saying we're going to cancel. It's bad optics, because they don't really care about they don't care about the safety of the players. They don't give the players health insurance, full life health insurance. They don't pay the players who risk injury playing the sport. But, oh, no, it's safety for them. No, you're worried about media and bad optics, even though they want to play, they feel safe, and you're running around like a bunch of idiots. Head coaches, you're not speaking to head coaches, you're not speaking to ADs, all coming out in favor of playing, and there's no money to be gained from this. There's not like their students in the state. You're not going to sell tickets. They just want to play because they love to play. And you people are a bunch of bureaucrats running the show who make gazillion dollars, have no real care about this stuff, and you just do whatever you want. And it's such bullshit. But we're waiting on bated breath. There's talk that teams are going to start leaving their conferences, go join other conferences if their conference cancels, like Michigan, Michigan State, Ohio State, Iowa, Nebraska. Teams that want to play, get the hell out of there. They're going to join the SEC. I talked about it last week. This could be the end of the NCAA as we know it. The conferences may just bail on them and say, nope, we're going to do what we want. You guys are garbage. You don't do anything. Nobody cares about how you promote amateurism. It's all a sham. Football is its own beast that needs to be handled like such. I've been saying it, though, the whole time. The SEC is going to be the last domino to fall. I think we're only going to get SEC football if this is true, and we might have expanded new conferences. I've been pushing for a new set of systems in college football where you have 5 power conferences, and that's your playoff, and it may be moved around with different teams and stuff, and we can kind of cut the bloat because they want to follow the NCAA. This is really, really interesting stuff. We're going to keep following this really closely. Things are changing by the hour, the minute. I'll hopefully have updates for y'all as we go on later in the week. But again, if you like this video, share it, like the channel, subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.